Hello, good evening. Welcome to a ride tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific time. As always, if you need to, you can tell me over there in the chat if you need to hear my voice better, if the music is drowning me out. So let's go ahead and adjust our resistance. If you're on a Kaiser bike, use your little lever up here. On our bikes down here, use your knob. We're just going to adjust the resistance till it's as light as you can get it. So just feel for that, whatever it is. And when you're at your lightest resistance, go ahead and bring yourself up into a nice upright position. Just let your arms hang by the side. Let your shoulders relax. And you can do like I'm doing here. Just let your arms flop a little bit like this. And then starting in your neck, start to release any tension you have in the muscles there. Then down through the shoulders, maybe wiggle them a little bit. And as you go down the spine, notice that your vertebrae are all nicely stacked. And you settle down nicely onto the saddle this way. And then finally release any tension you're carrying in your belly and just breathe deeply. A couple of times from a nice relaxed belly. And then when you're ready, just come over here and rest your hands on your handlebars. I want you to notice that I rest the heel of my hand on the bar, and then I wiggle my fingers like this. So as we're just pedaling softly here, we're noticing that the muscles are warming up a little bit. And we're noticing the breath is picking up just a little bit. Good. Good. So just keep your legs moving really nice and slow and soft. In about a minute and 15 seconds, we're going to start to bring in the work. So don't worry right now about getting your heart rate up or burning calories. We're just trying to center ourselves. Our Revo cycle system is all about using the movement as a way of really quieting the mind down, being present. Body awareness, breath awareness, just like yoga, exactly like yoga. But with the cycling movement form. Good, so relax the shoulders again, make sure you have a slight bend in your elbows. Your weight is settled nicely onto the saddle. Take a couple more deep breaths. All right, our first working song is coming up. Make sure your resistance is nice and light. We want to add work here by just bringing up the leg speed. So go ahead and bring your leg speed up, all the while keeping that nice, stress-free, relaxed upper body. Your hips are beautifully settled on the saddle. I want you to just close your eyes and feel for the rhythm. See if you can sense it with your legs. If you're using a computer on your bike at home, we're at 95 RPM. Now remember, the goal right now is not to be uncomfortable. It's not to really work hard. It's to bring a light resistance up to 95 RPM to just warm up the muscles a little bit more. And as we do that, we can start to notice the breath pick up. We start to notice the heart rate come up. Good. Close your eyes, take a couple more deep breaths. Really be present in the rhythm. If you need to, you can look at my legs. We'll show you the pedal speed. Nice. In 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and slow your legs down. Come off the rhythm and slow your legs down. So we're back to where we started. Super slow pedaling, very light resistance. And check and see what that did. You're a little more out of breath now. Your legs feel a little bit warmer. Is your heart rate up a little bit? Good. We're going to do that again. So maybe sit up like I am again. Shake it out. Settle the weight into the saddle. Back to your handlebars, check your hands. All right, you ready? Let's go for about 1 minute. 1, 2, 1. Accelerate the legs back up again. Nice. Feeling for the rhythm. Keeping the hips nice and steady on saddle, no bouncing. Just stitching it together beautifully. What I love to do is just close my eyes, listening deeply into the music and feeling that rhythm, really trying to become one with it. All right, let's start to slow the legs. Slow the legs. Good, we should be nice and warmed up now. So if you can, just sit up nice and tall. We're going to set our intention now. Time to get to work. Our next song is going to be about 80 RPM. We'll take 15 seconds to align our legs to the rhythm of the song. And then we're going to add in the work. So take 15 seconds right now. It's a great mind-body practice to just close the eyes. Okay, do you have it? If you don't, watch my legs, they'll show you the speed. All right, let's reach down. Let's all get a resistance that at this pedal speed, you don't think you could hold for more than 5 minutes. That's your sense. Dial in resistance that at this pedal speed feels very difficult to hold for 5 minutes. I want you to settle into it beautifully, doing your posture checks, doing your mind-body practice, just closing the eyes, breathing deeply. When the mind starts to wander away from what you're doing right here, when it wanders out towards the rest of the evening or tomorrow or next week, or maybe start to think over something that happened earlier today, just notice that. And when you notice it, just label it thinking, and then come back. So let's reassess. We thought we added resistance that we could not hold for 5 minutes. How do you feel about that now? We've been going about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And we've got about 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. I bet you could add some more, right? We probably underestimated what we were capable of. That's you, it's me too. I'm gonna add a little bit more in. And I immediately feel that extra work in the muscles of my legs. And I tune into that feeling, noticing it. I'm noticing my breath pick up even more now. We've got about 1:39 to go. How are you feeling? Maybe shift your hand positions a little bit. I do that a lot if you watch me. It's a very common thing in cycling, changing hand positions quite a bit just to keep yourself kind of loose. Now take a deep breath. Come back into the moment. 1 minute to go. 30 seconds. Can you add a tiny bit more? This would be putting you into the uncomfortable range, but it's only 30 seconds. Refocus for the last 20 seconds. Two, one. Bring your resistance down to 1. Super easy. So I want to check in with you. How's your breathing doing right now? I am very much out of breath. And if you're doing the same kind of work I was doing, you'll be very much out of breath. So always check in. That's part of being aware. It's part of being present in your workout. All right, well, we're going to start into a hill. And I want to remind all of you that aren't regular Revo cycle riders that when we hit a hill, we really mean it. We get into something at 60, 70 RPM that feels just really uncomfortable. Creates doubt in our minds almost immediately about our ability to finish the hill. All right, let's go ahead. Add in that resistance. It makes it feel like you're in a very challenging hill. And let's slow our legs. And we're going to feel for about 64 RPM if you have a computer at home. If you don't, just a little more than 1 pedal stroke per second. If you're doing this right, you're really feeling the glutes as they push you over the top of the pedal stroke through the heel of your foot, like you're doing a squat. And then your quads kick in. But that hip drive is so important. See if you can feel that. All right, Revo cyclers, you know the deal. But when we come out of the saddle, all of you that don't ride with us, I want you to think about adding resistance to the point where you can't pedal it seated anymore. I want you to imagine the hill went from this to this, and you have to stand up out of the saddle in order to turn the pedals. That's our kind of climbing. In Revo cycle, are you ready? Take a deep breath. In 2. And 1. Let's add that resistance in. Rising up into it. Holding our rhythm. We're going to ease back into seated climbing, reach down, reduce to seated climbing resistance. Stay in your hill. Now remember, we're not taking a break now. We're still climbing our hill. It's still really challenging to our muscles. We still have that sense of doubt in the head, still wondering. I can assure you we've got less than 2 2.5 minutes to go on our hill. Does that change your calculation? Does it? Maybe you could add a little more now, knowing we're getting there. All right, you ready to stand again? And remember, spin bike people, make sure you add a whole bunch so that you can't pedal it seated. Let me count you into it. In 3, in 2, in 1. Add that resistance in. Rise into it, nice and tall. We want to keep our hands light on the bars. Our grip is light. We're just balancing ourselves with the handlebars, driving our weight into that extremely heavy resistance, side to side through the glutes. Beautiful. And we want to keep breathing as we do this, no tensing up. This is the time to be relaxed and supple. In 2, and 1. Bring it back down to seated climbing. How's your breathing? Less than a minute to go. I don't know if you can hear my breathing, but I'm quite out of breath from this. Now, let's take the last 30 seconds, shall we? Close your eyes. Just see the next 5 feet of road. Really tune into the breath and the rhythm.
Relax.
Can you bring your resistance down to 1? Good. We're out of the hill. I know you're out of breath. Let's not take a break. Let's continue on our flat road now. Bring your leg speed up to flat road. Pedal speed about 95 RPM. Light resistance, fast pedaling. And as always, I'm just going to close my eyes, really be present as I sense for the rhythm of this song. You do the same thing. Good. Now, those of you on a regular spin bike, a Spinner NXT, Kaiser bike, Peloton bike, those have fixed gears between the wheel and the pedals. Which means if you don't have any resistance on at all, that wheel can be powering your legs around in a circle, flinging your legs around in a circle. That's both ineffective and not good for your knees. It tends to send energy up into the body. So I want you to get at least a tiny bit of resistance at all times. We never want to go without any. That'll be better for you anyway. It requires more work, more focus. All right, we're at 95 RPM, light resistance. When I give you the signal, We're gonna kick in some resistance that we feel like we couldn't hold for 1 minute. It's gonna be huge power output. It's gonna be extremely challenging. And I want you to sense that huge power and be as smooth as you can. Are you ready? In 2, in 1. Add that resistance. Couldn't hold it for a minute, but you stay at your pedal speed. We'll stay here 30 seconds. One, bring it back to your light resistance. Check in with your breath. Heart rate people, check out your breathing right now. If you can hear me breathing, you'll know I'm out of breath. That was almost a full out effort, yeah? We're gonna do one more. This time for only 15 seconds. So lock your rhythm down. Set your intention. Settle your weight, shake your arms out. In 2, and 1. Add that resistance in, just 15 seconds now. All right, bring your resistance down to 1. Super light for you that aren't Revo cyclers. Have a seat upright like I do. Now, even if you're not thirsty, let's go ahead and drink some water together, shall we? Go ahead, grab your water. Let's take a couple drinks. So we're in active recovery right now. Back to where we started at the very beginning. Super light resistance, slow pedal speed, slow your legs down, slow them down. I like to tell people, just imagine you're in a parking lot, going around in circles, waiting for your friends to show up. That's what we're doing right now. Just active recovery. I like to take these seconds in active recovery to really kind of tune in to how I'm feeling with the bike. Am I partnered with the bike in a positive way? Do I feel like I'm one with it? I think it's important to kind of meld with your bike, become one with the machine. Not fight it, but be one, work with it. So that's why I check in. I see how my hands are doing. Am I stressed like this? No, good. Am I settled onto the saddle beautifully? Yeah. I am. And I'm noticing that my heart rate's coming back down from that hard work. And I'm feeling ready to work again. How about you? Good. So what do you say? We go uphill extremely hard, and then we transition to a flat road section where we try to maintain a very high speed along that flat road. And by speed, I mean bike speed, not necessarily leg speed. We'll hold around 90 RPM, but we'll shift into gears that allow that bike to be moving very quickly. All right, sound good? All right, I'm gonna shake it out a little bit, get myself ready. Okay, I'm coming back into position. Let's go ahead and kick ourselves into a steep hill gear. So add massive resistance. And we're gonna get it so we can barely turn the pedals at this pedal speed. And this might be new to you if you're a spinner. Revo cyclers, you know what this feels like. That's a 5 on our scale. And we're driving this. So take a deep breath, relax your upper body, take all the tension out of the upper body, settle your weight, and let's hold this rhythm for 30 seconds with really heavy resistance.
Bienvenido, el sonido clandestino. Feel my rhythm.
Okay, how you feeling? If your legs are uncomfortable right now, if your heart rate and breathing are very high right now, perfect. Okay, you ready to practice your out of saddle? Take a deep breath before we do this. In 3, in 2, and 1. Add massive resistance so you can't pedal seated and rise into it. Those of you new to RevoCycle, I want you to particularly pay attention to me right now. You see how light my hands are on the bars? You see how nice and tall my chest is? I'm stepping my weight through the glutes. The top of the pedal stroke. Nice and tall so we can drive that weight. If we're bent over, we can't do that. In 2, and 1. Bring it back to seated climbing. No break here. Still climbing the hill.
El sonido clandestino. Feel my rhythm.
The music got quiet. I bet you can hear my breathing. That's good. That's okay. You need to be breathing like I am if you're replicating my effort right here. You ready to stand again? Yes, these are hard, but that's why they're so good for us. They focus us. They get us into the moment because of the challenge. That's what it's all about. Are you ready? In 2, 1. Just crank it. Trust me on this. We'll only be here 30 seconds. Give yourself the opportunity to feel this work. In 2, 1. We're going to finish it right here. Seated position. Don't take a break. We're still climbing. Close your eyes. Let's meditate these last 45 seconds. Come on down. So go ahead and get your flat road right now. How'd that feel? Well, we're coming up on our final working song. And like I said, it's flat road. So get your light resistance for now. Let's get our leg speed up to flat road speed about 95 RPM. One, two, three, and four. Okay, everybody together. Look at me. Release the tension in the shoulders. Make sure your elbows have a slight bend. Your hands, light, wiggle your fingers. Your belly is relaxed so the arm can expand and contract. Those abdominal muscles over them need to be relaxed for that to really happen. Settle your mind. Keep your gear nice and easy for now. Let's really get into the moment. Are you ready? We're going to hold this pedal speed and start shifting gears, which will accelerate the bike. Are you ready? Bring in one more gear right now. And for me, I always notice the work as it comes into the muscles of the legs with that added resistance. Where do you feel it? Quads? Hamstrings? Glutes? See if you can distribute that work around a little bit better if your quads are screaming right now. You ready for another gear? Let's go. Another gear. You got to still be able to hold the pedal speed. If you can't, reduce your resistance. We got a minute 13 left to go. I don't know if you can see the sweat is pouring off my face now. How you feeling? Can you do one more gear? For one more minute, let's say 45 seconds. You ready? Bring it in. 45 seconds. In 2, 1. Go ahead and bring your resistance down to 1. Slow your legs. Back in the parking lot. Heart rate monitor, people. Check it right now. Those of you who don't have a heart rate monitor, can you find your pulse right now? Find it right here in your neck. Let me give you 15 seconds to count it. Ready and count. and stop. So that was a 15-second count. Go ahead and multiply whatever number you just counted by 4. And yeah, you're going to be off a little bit. You probably missed 1 or 2 beats. That's okay. You might have counted a couple extra. That's okay. Multiply that by 4. That'll be a ballpark figure of your heart rate. And if you know your maximum heart rate, try to kind of come to what percentage of your maximum heart rate that was. That kind of effort will get us into 85% of our maximum heart rate. If you don't know it, take your age from 220. That's a rough estimate of your maximum heart rate. And of course, always pay attention to how out of breath you were. As you're counting that, you start to learn to associate your out of breathness with your heart rate because they go together. Yes? All right. Slow your legs even more. Can you get your resistance down even more? And I want to see if you can find yourself just really coming back down to baseline. Just feeling for the lowest possible resistance you can get. And now sit up like I am. And I say this almost every class, but the most important 15 seconds of your workout is right now, as you slow the legs to a stop. Close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths. Inhaling 1 and exhale 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. Inhale 2, 3, and exhale 2, 3. This is the most important 15 seconds of your workout because this is when we notice how good it makes us feel to move. And we might think, oh wow, time went by really fast. Notice that. I feel less stressed. Pay attention to that. Maybe a little bit happy. That's good. These are the things we notice when we're really mindful about our fitness. And this is what will help build a lifetime of fitness. So keep track of these things always. All right, can you rise up with your feet horizontally opposed and just drop your heels so you have a nice stretch in your calves. And now let's rotate the back foot to the front, and again, just drop your heels. Okay, swinging the leg over the bike. I'm going to leave you to stretch your quads and your hamstrings on your own, and I'll keep some nice little music playing for you here. I want to thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Check out our schedule on our Instagram page, on our RevoCycle Mind and Body page, on our Facebook page. We'll be doing classes every day. Thanks a lot. Good to have you here.